Okay, just wanted to do an update on what I'm working on, which is what I've been working on. Got a couple things going on. First is I want to emphasize that you shouldn't throw anything away. I have a little parts box that I throw in extra parts that are left over from builds, and just you never know when you're going to need them. In this particular case, I had a couple of I bought several models of the AMT 53 Corvette, 55 Corvette, and this one got messed up. I also had an AMT 53 or 55 Ford pickup truck, and I like the monogram kit a little bit better, even though it wasn't as detailed. But anyhow, I took the top from the Ford and the bottom of the Chevy and the wheel wells, reversed them, and came up with this guy that I'm working on. It has the opening door, and this is a work in progress. But the deal with this is it was just something I was going to throw away, and actually is turning out to be not too bad. I have the hood, which is from the AMT kit, and I took the Dremel tool, sanded it down. That's how it's going to go on. And what I use, this is epoxy. I mean, not epoxy, two-part resin. I'll show you right here. Two-part resin, Alumarez casting resin, two-part equal amounts, and I use those. I got that at Hobby Lobby, by the way, and I use that to build up the plastic here, and it sands pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Another thing I use is Bondo glazing spot putty. This is for automobiles, but it works for models as well. And anyhow, that's one of the things. Another thing I was working on this weekend is a distributor, and how I did this is first of all, took a tea light candle, lit it, and just held it above the flame just a little bit and stretched it out. This is a heat shrink, and I got it at a place called Fry's. I don't know where you get this anymore. You're not going to get it at Radio Shack, that's for sure. But anyhow, stretched it out, and that's what I make my spark plug wire boots from. And the spark plug wire itself is wire wrap wiring, and I got this at Fry's too, and their electronic section, and it's really good for making spark plug wires. So those are a couple things. I still got more that I'm working on. I took I have I believe it's a monogram, I'm not sure, but it's the Tom Daniels Cherry Bomb, and I built one before, and it was okay, but it's a very simple kit, and I wanted to try to do something other than just make it the way it was. I wanted to improve it, originate. Everything's got to be custom. So what I've done so far is, first of all, let me show you that. I filled the hole for the turbine engine, and puttied it, sanded it, puttied it, sanded it, and smooth it out because I'm going to cut it in half. Not exactly in half. I'll probably cut it in a wedge type pattern and extend it out. I also took a piece of styrene because I wanted to extend the rear, and as well as I epoxied, I made a, there's also amazing mold putty, 2-part as well, and it's like Play-Doh in a sense. It's just putty, and you mix it 2 parts together and you come up with a flexible mold, and that's what I did. I molded the louver because I needed to extend them, so like that, which I hadn't actually put on there yet, but I will. But like I said, I extended the rear with a sheet of styrene, and on the bottom part I extended as well, and I'm waiting to find a piece of red styrene spruce that I'm going to use for a single tail light, and I'll just kind of give you an idea of what it's going to come out to look like. It's just going to be extended. Of course, it's extended in the rear, and I'm going to extend it up front too. I'll probably put some kind of blown motor in it, change the wheels, whatnot. So that's a customizing kit. The other customizing project I have is Hydro Hemi. I know that light's pretty bright. Sorry. There you go. I took a sheet of styrene and made another floor, because this was something else I was going to throw away. I didn't really have a use for it. Some parts were missing, and but I hung on to it, and I'm glad I did, because I knew I was going to do something with it, and what I wanted to do was make a car boat. I'll explain that in a second. Anyhow, another sheet of styrene, and you can't really see it, but there's a couple sheets of styrene up here. And what that does is, well, what I took a Baldwin Motion Camaro, because I needed to rob parts for it, and I cut the top off with the Dremel tool, the Dremel cutting wheel. I took the intake scoop from the AMT 66 Nova Pro Street, and had to sand it down. Still have to sand it and prime it, because any imperfections are going to show. I puttied it so you wouldn't see any gaps, and so what we're going to have, and this is something like that. I'll have some exhaust sticking up. I'll have to putty and fill these gaps. That's why I put that lip there, so that when I put in that epoxy resin, it'll have something to cling on to and not just slip into the bottom. So there you go. That's an idea. Like I said, it's original. I don't think anybody's ever done a Camaro boat before. I have seen Impala boats, and I've seen the all-famous Corvette Stingray boat. But I didn't have a Corvette Stingray kit that I was throwing away, and I had a Camaro, so I like it. It'll come out. Here's the, I took the seats. I believe I took these from the Nova Pro Street as well. I'll stick those in there. So those are a couple of things that I got that I'm working on right now. And tip for today is it's a good idea to put bandages on your finger if you're using an X-Acto knife. And I did this not as a preventative measure, but as a post measure, because I pretty much almost sliced the complete tip of my finger off. And I play guitar, so that's going to bother me for a couple days. So, but if you do that before you start working on with the X-Acto, and you cut it, you'll have some protection there. So anyhow, that's what I'm working on. Those are the tips for today. Thank you for watching.